Hi there! I'd like to share with you the easiest sourdough recipes that I use to make sourdough breads from time to time. Why sourdough? I used to make white breads with instant yeast and they turn out really delicious. But later on, I found out that they could cause rapid blood sugar spikes and inflammation in the body. Sourdough breads, on the other hand, has low glycemic index due to its long fermentation process, which consumes the sugar from the starch. And it has a ton of healthy bacteria for gut health. That being said, moderation is the key. Usually I bake a half or even a quarter loaf every few weeks and only eat no more than a slice a day. In this video, I will share two recipes. One contains partial whole wheat and the other one is 100% whole wheat. Whole wheat sourdoughs are more nutritious than sourdough made with regular flour. And I get it, we all have super busy schedules. Who has time to make bread? Well, I'm going to share with you the easiest, laziest method to make these hearty sourdough breads with the simplest ingredients. So be sure to watch till the end. For both recipes, I use organic rye flour to make my starter. I'm not gonna go over the starter making process here because I'm sure there are a ton of videos about it, but if you're really curious about how I make mine, leave me a comment below and I'll make a video about it. For the partial whole wheat recipe, I will use organic unbleached all-purpose flour and of course organic whole wheat flour that both recipes will use. For my starter, I store it in the freezer for weeks or even months without feeding. And when I'm ready to make bread, I would defrost it in room temperature, fill it with rye flour and water, and wait until it doubled in volume, which sometimes could take 1 to 2 days. Just be patient and let the microbes do their job. Once your starter has doubled in volume, it's ready for baking. Both recipes will use the same method that requires minimum prep work possible. And I will say that I got the inspiration from Ben Starr's video and a ton of experiments until I got my final recipe. The first step is to always start the prep work the night before baking. That way you can let the dough go through a long fermentation process to rise overnight. The longer the process, the more flavorful the bread will become. You can find both of my recipes in the description below. So the first step is to add filtered water. Next, I'll add the starter and mix them really well. Now for recipe 1, I would first add the unbleached all-purpose flour and then add the whole wheat flour. Sometimes I would add some flaxseed meal, but that's totally optional. And lastly, add salt to the mix. Now mix them really well. And remember, you don't need to knead or anything. Just make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. I like to use my hand sometimes to just incorporate things together, but again, no kneading is required. Cover it and let it sit in a warm place, like inside your oven, to let it rise overnight. After 12 to 16 hours, when you see your dough has doubled in volume and it looks very airy with a lot of bubbles, that means it's almost ready for baking. And the last step before baking is just to shape the dough. Make sure you dust the surface and your hand and the dough with a lot of flour because it could get very sticky. And I would just do a few stretch and fold, just a few times is good enough. And then I would rotate and push the dough away and pull it toward me a few times to create surface tension on the dough. The whole process shouldn't take more than a few minutes. Now let the dough sit for another few hours, then it will be ready for baking. Now put the dough straight into the Dutch oven. And yes, unlike the traditional way of baking, you don't need to preheat the oven. Just score it with a sharp scissor or knife. Cover the Dutch oven with the lid and put it straight into the oven without preheating. This is seriously the coolest thing because the process to heat up the Dutch oven actually gives the dough extra time to rise and extends the fermentation or flavor building process. After 45 minutes, remove the lid to bake for another 10 to 15 minutes for extra crisp and browning. This one didn't have a lot of oven spring, but it's still really soft and full of flavors. This is another one that I made, and it turned out really pretty with a lot of oven spring. It's crispy on the outside and really soft and delicious on the inside. The 100% whole wheat sourdough bread is also really soft and moist. Spread it with this cultured salted butter is my favorite way of eating this sourdough bread. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Until the next time, take care.